Hi there. So today I'm going to do a top five books that I've been reading lately. And the first book that I started reading it's called Sons and Lovers, and it's by D.H. Lawrence. And it's a very emotionally inclined book. You have to have a bit of a sensitivity or a bit of an acceptance for emotionality. You get pretty bogged down into people's feelings and people's thoughts and people's sort of intuitions and inspirations, and uh, there's a lot of description about what's going on in the relationship, particularly with the emotions of each people. There's not a whole lot written like like an objective perspective. There's very little actually written from an objective perspective, and so there's a lot of sort of British slang used in this too, which is interesting, and it's a generally overall a really good read though. I think it's quite interesting if you can accept the emotionality in D.H. Lawrence's works, then you really have a great time reading it. Another book I've been reading has been the Dialogues of Plato, and it's a small little book, and it has the full philosophies of Plato, the Apology, Crito, Ephoro, Phaedo, Pythagoras. I don't think it has, this is Meno, Symposium, but Gorgas, but it doesn't have his most famous, or one of his most famous works is The Republic. It doesn't have that in there, but it has a great little introduction to. It's only about 5 or 6 pages long, but it has a great introduction to Plato's work and Socrates in general, and to like the form world and how he constructs his the reality uh, of his forms, and yeah. Um, So that's the other book, and let's see, what other book am I reading? Um, this is another great book. It's from Sean Carroll, and it has some quite accessible physics ideas, scientific ideas that are like philosophy. Um, I can't tell you the main. I can't really be right on the dot with the main. It's a very easy to read book. Uh, Refers to a lot of different um, parts of human knowledge, and it's kind of like a philosophy on the he calls it the poetic naturalism, which I don't quite understand, but I think I'm going to read it again. It's been a while since I read this, but this looks like a pretty cool book. There's also 10. There's top 10 things to the 10 Commandments. He calls and the first one is that life isn't forever, and I think that's quite a valid point. And It's a pretty deep point, and then his desire is built into life. What matters is what matters to people. We can always do better. It pays to listen. There is no natural way to be. It takes all kinds. The universe is in our hands. We can do better than happiness, and reality guides us. So yeah, those are pretty. He condenses those topics into just small paragraphs there. They're quite nice to read. So that's the third book. Let me see another book here. Well, this book is actually a Nova Scotian book, and it's by Thomas Riddell, and it's called Tidefall, or Tidefall. And it's sort of like a romance. A lot of his books are kind of romance, adventure, character driven, and they're quite interesting. Quite lots of action, and yeah, lots of character driven action, I say. So, and another book I was sort of dabbling in, but unfortunately my copy of the book is falling apart. But this is The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and it's a really fun book, really cool, fun plot. I find it just the idea of somebody like traveling by train, and he comes back to his hometown, and he talks about all these adventures he's had, and or he's always been looked upon as an idiot, and I think there's a lot of things you can sort of take away. Say, hey, I kind of resemble that too, and then you start thinking about it, and it's kind of fun. There's lots. I think there's a lot of. I'm not sure if there's a big philosophical idea there or it's just a big story, but there's got to be something like a philosophy in there. Okay, well those are my 5 books that I'm reading right now. So that's it for now. Start off with Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence, Dialogues of Plato, Big Picture, Tidefall, and The Idiot. So there we go for now.